at times it's important to quit things.
Yeah.
Definitely.
100%.
And I think, there's a stigma around quitting, that it's bad and you shouldn't quit, and you're a failure if you quit. But actually quitting can be such a powerful thing. Yeah.
If it's hard, you should actually keep going.
Yeah.
I swear that's how I feel, because it's like, that's everyone else is gonna quit, bro. That's
Yeah.
honestly like, no, sorry, because that's everyone else. This is how I think, innit? This is mad hard. That means 90% of people are stopping at this point.
Yeah, Tyler, I just quit the warehouse, I just quit. I was like, no way, you just quit. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do eBay.
This hit home to me that she's a law clerk at the Supreme Court. Every year, 42,000 students graduate from law school in America. 37 of them are awarded Supreme Court clerks.
If you make a decision based on how you feel in the moment, you're probably making the wrong decision.
Let's go, champ.
Okay,
so you weren't ready.
Welcome to The Power of Pages, where we review books that ignite your mind,
Elevate your life,
and drive your ambition. And this episode, we are reviewing The Dip by Seth Godin. And I go by Ty.
I'm Mr. Fly.
And yeah, that's the intro. Let's get into it, man.
Yeah.
I picked this book because it was a short book. As we discussed in our previous review, we've got next episode's book, The Dip by Seth Godin. Chris will be happy to know that it's another short book. So, easy to read. Join us on this book review journey.
What are you trying to say?
Well, you're not happy to know?
No, but
Are you happy to know that this book is short? I made an assumption based on what I assumed, which was wrong on my part.
Appreciate it. And I didn't get triggered by that assumption.
So I actually want to start off by asking you, were you happy that it was a short book?
Yeah, I was actually. I mean, yeah, I was grateful for the book, but that was short, of course. It makes it a bit easier. But I got a question for you actually. Do you feel like you fully understand? Can you explain the dip to me? Please.
Can I explain the dip to you?
Or not even to me, to the viewers. Yeah, can you explain what is the dip? Yeah,
what is the dip? The dip is the part of life, or not necessarily life. Actually, let's go again. Take two.
Okay.
The dip is a part of a goal that you're trying to achieve, whether that's a business, whether that's a competition, or something you're trying to achieve. And the dip is the part where things start to get difficult and it's not going your way. That's my understanding of the dip. The challenges that you need to push through before you can start to see the rewards of success. So, for example, if you're training and doing weight training, you might notice if you just started, your muscles really start to ache like the day after, and and you think, oh, I can't deal with this. Like, I can't train anymore because my arms are hurting too much. But if you continue to train and build up your strength, eventually that goes away.
And if you had just stopped at that moment because you were too sore, you wouldn't achieve or realize the goals that you had. Yeah.
I don't know why I chose training as an example, but that's
we just trained.
Yeah.
We trained earlier today, maybe that's why.
Yeah, but that's an example. But that can be applied to business. That can be applied to any goals that you're trying to achieve. It can be applied to your work and your job. So that's my understanding of the dip.
No, similar. I mean, I think you've explained it well, to my understanding. It's the book's interesting because obviously the length of the book is also quite intriguing. Okay, it's it's obviously whatever it is going to be to the point. There's not going to be a lot of like faffing around. But then as well, I think the next step of it is he talks about what to do when you encounter the dip, and also there's different types of dips. So I say,
yes.
You've got different types of what to do and when to quit. What happens if you quit? Should you quit? Shouldn't you quit? Choices that you make, isn't it? So it's it was interesting, man. Seth Godin. I mean, I think I've read one or two of his books before, and his writing style is quite. It's like he's got interesting writing style. He pulls out very like intriguing examples, like things not your kind of run of the mill examples, but they do land.
Do you have one that comes to mind?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the book, he talks about which which I like, it landed with me about the pressure in the tire. So it's like the first £10. So he calls the park's called soft tires, and pick your dip. We're kind of missing out a little bit, but and he says the first £10 of pressure you put into a completely flat tire do no good at all.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, and then equally, if a tire is already pumped up, and you pump up another £10, it's gonna burst. So he's just saying, so you've got to find that balance of where you should actually, and then the final £10 to get it pumped to its optimum level. That final £10 is very important.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, right?
Yeah.
So he's just talking about at the beginning. So when you put that first £10 in at a tire, that's the dip, because you've been pumping. Let's say you're using a manual pump, and nothing's happened. The tire looks exactly the same. That's the dip, because But what do you do? Do you stop because the tire is still flat, or do you continue to pump? And then equally, at the end when the tire is pumped up, if you do too much and pump it up too much, it's gonna explode, or it's gonna pop, or it's gonna burst, or whatever. So that was, I've never heard that sort of analogy before.
Yeah.
But it made sense, So adding £10 to a full tire will make it burst. It's just the last £10 that gets it to really fully pay off. And then the reason why I'm talking about, so if you enter a market that's too big or too loud, for the resources available to you, the message is going to get lost. So figure out how much pressure you've got available, and pick your tire, not too big or too small. Yeah, so he's just talking about picking your market, what industry you're going to go into, and all those kind of things. And also when you encounter that dip, right?
Yeah.
When you encounter that dip, don't stop. But then also, it's quite complicated in the sense as well.
What he says is, pushing through the dip is important in certain circumstances, but actually you can quit before you even get to that dip. Yeah. And before we talk about, quitting from his perspective and the book, I wanted to ask you, what have you quit and been happy to quit?
Loads of things.
And what's an example that you're, comfortable to share?
When I read this, it made me think, obviously maybe you don't, well, but obviously people might not know. So I've had other businesses before, my most recent, before FFLY Youth charity, and I used to hire out bouncer castles, and I also used to hire out photo booths, 2 separate businesses, but I came to similar junctures in both of them. So with the bouncer castles, I got to a point, and again, retrospectively looking at it, and I'm like, wow, what he's talking about applies to an assessment that I made. So I was like, okay, I got to a point, was doing quite well with the bouncer castles, it was picking up, and it was doing well. I'd done it for a number of years. But then I scaled up to a point, I had storage, I had quite a few castles, had one van at the time, and I was like, okay, the level that I'm at now, either I scale up even more and get more storage space, and I'm going to get another van, which is going to come with more, then I need to get double insurance, everything, is doubled and stuff like that. Then I'm going to need to get someone, because I used to have people that would work with me. It was more like a self-employed thing. And I got to that point, I was like, okay, do I do that, or do I just stop now? Because it was, I decided, do I stop or do I continue? But if I continue, I'm gonna have to pick it up and do more. And the way I used to operate was, I would operate through the winter. I wouldn't really run the business as such. I would operate from April from Easter through to September. So I was like, okay, so there's those months when I'm not working as much because of the weather, and I would just stop, because that's how I ran the business. I was like, okay, that means I'm still going to be paying insurance for the vans, still going to be paying storage space, everything's still going to be going, and it's not going to be bringing the amount of money that would justify it. So I sold the business essentially, and it was a good thing I did. The money from that I managed to put into other businesses and sorted out a few other things. Then the person that I sold it to is doing really well as well. So I think it was just really good timing, because it was a friend of mine. And their business is they're flying. Do you know what I mean? So going back to the question, I quit the bouncer castle business because I was like, okay, at the point I'm at now, I'm not willing to go further and to step up, which it needs. I'm not willing to do that. I assessed it, and that was the assessment I made. And it worked out well. And then that's that. Yeah. It was a similar issue with the photo booth, not similar in ways, similar in the sense that I chose to stop. Yeah. But different circumstances, but still.
I think at times it's important to quit things. Yeah, definitely. 100%. And I think, there's a stigma around quitting, that it's bad and you shouldn't quit, and, you're a failure if you quit. But actually quitting can be such a powerful thing. And I actually wanted to tell the viewers a story about one of my friends, Dully. And I don't even think you know this.
I don't know
this story. He's actually a former client of mine, and a friend, someone who kind of became a friend through work. But Dully came to see me, and he was working in a warehouse at the time, and he hated it. He said, the managers were idiots, and they didn't run it smoothly, and he wasn't enjoying it. But alongside working in a warehouse, he was running an eBay business, and he was making decent money from eBay. So he was like going to car boots, buying things, selling on eBay, and he was doing this part-time alongside working in a warehouse.
Okay.
And then he got to a point, he was making more money on his eBay than he was making in his working in a warehouse.
Yeah.
So we was talking about it, and I was like, so hang on a minute. You hate your job in the warehouse. You enjoy eBay. eBay is making you more money than you're making in the warehouse.
Yeah.
And also at the time, I don't believe his financial responsibilities were like crazy. He was still living at home with family.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a massive pressure. I know he still contributed, but it wasn't a massive pressure. So I said, why don't you just quit the warehouse? You know, just like, just quit. If you put that time and energy into eBay, you can make even more money.
Yeah.
And he, the penny dropped for him. He's like, no, I should. Anyway, next day, I'm at home. I think I'm working or something. My phone's ringing. It's Dully.
Yeah.
Like, why is it Dully calling me? Yo, what are you saying? Yeah, Tyler, I just quit the warehouse. I just quit. I was like, no way, you just quit. He's like, yeah, I'm going to do eBay. I was gassed. It was like, that made me feel so proud and happy for him in that moment. And then he went on to run eBay and continuously like grow it and stuff. Yeah. But then here's the thing as well that I think people worry about was eBay then started to slow down. And I think he started to lose the passion and love for it or whatever. It started to slow down. So then he went and got another job. Yeah. He just went back to work. He's like, do you know what?
Standards.
Like the eBay thing's not working out properly how I want it to. Yeah. I'm going to go get back another job. And I think people think that, I mean, looking for jobs is hard. It's not easy to go and get a job. But it is possible to do your thing and then go back into a job.
It's the stigma attached to it. Because I know when I've spoken to people that, even about with what I do and like, imagine like if things just went left and I had to go back and get a job and stuff like that, there's a stigma, like, you'd feel like a failure. You'd feel that people would see you as a failure. Do you know what I mean? And I think maybe that's, because obviously you can always go back to a job, but people don't want to go back to a job.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Or not they don't want to, but that can hold some people back. Do you see what I mean? So that's mostly why. It's not so much because you're employable. You're mostly more employable with work experience of running your own business, to be fair. But the stigma of within your social circle, within your family, depending. So that's, I think that holds people back a lot from maybe going back. Maybe a job is the right thing to do at that time. Do you see what I mean? And that might just be what you need to do in that moment of time. You need to go back and get some money up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think that's what holds people back a lot. Personally, I've seen it.
But I wanted to share that story because I wanted to big up Dully for that as well, and I just wanted to give the viewers it's you can quit things. But let's go on to the dip curves, because if there are reasons that you shouldn't quit and that you should push through the dip, what you don't want to do is quit just because times are difficult and times are hard. Like, don't just quit because you're finding it difficult and hard. That's not a reason to quit. And there's an assessment that he makes actually further down the book, like when you should quit or when you shouldn't.
Yeah, because I think he talks about different types of dips, isn't it?
Yes, there's 8 types
of dip.
8 dip curves that he mentions.
Okay.
Which we'll go on to them.
Okay.
But before that, I wanted to mention the 3 questions he says to ask yourself before quitting. So it was, am I panicking?
Yeah.
Who am I trying to influence?
Yeah.
And what sort of measurable progress am I making?
Yeah.
And those are just simple questions to help you understand the situation that you're in and if it's worth continuing.
Yeah, no, I think it's that internal dialogue's important. Do you know what I mean? In the sense of like, you need to be aware, because if it's just like, so for example, your friend Dully, before he decided to quit, he'd obviously thought about this a long time, and it wasn't like a knee-jerk reaction. If anything, at the time it made sense for him to do it. So it wasn't like a panicking thing. You know, a lot of times you can be like, oh, everyone's doing this, or I'm getting this age, or whatever, you know, this opportunity. There's a reason which kind of pushes that urgency, and that's maybe based, so that you make a decision based on emotion, over logic. So panicking is never, you know, sometimes if you're in a panicking state, it's best just not to do anything.
Yeah.
And just assess the situation and make it, you know, and speak to people, ask people. Yeah. So if the answer to that question is, am I panicking? If the answer is yes, then don't do anything, don't quit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I know he spoke about the different types of dip, you know, because there are some dips that, because the reason why I asked you that question at the beginning was because on one hand he's saying slog it out basically and survive the dip, and on the other hand he's saying quit, don't slog it out. But that, I think that comes from your discernment or your sort of understanding of where you are and what's going on. You know, he talks about the cul-de-sac. Yeah. And that's when you realise when you realise you're in a cul-de-sac, exit, get off fast. So that's a dead end.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So it's like that would, you know, I guess you'd put that as like a dead end job or a dead end career where it doesn't really go anywhere. There's not really much, you know, whether it's work or and even, I mean, it applies to everything, even relationships, whatever it might be. If you realise this is going nowhere, what are you doing there?
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Like, and if you settle for that, then you realise you've settled for that. Do you know what I'm saying? So that was that. And then obviously the cliff, which is like, he says rare but scary. It's like, you can't quit until you fall off. So again, it's enough. This is like where it's basically the best I can put it is
like crash and burning is kind of like the cliff, isn't it? It's like you're not quitting until you're forced to quit.
Yeah. Where, again, it might even be, you might look at yourself and be in an industry where the industry's going nowhere. I know he gives some examples about that actually. I can't remember what they are. I don't know if you've written it down. But where you're in an industry that's coming to he speaks about like print media or newspapers. And again, I don't, you know, he talks about basically that if you're in it, particular roles within that industry are losing fast, and it's, you know, it's not, he doesn't call it a dead end, but it could be a cliff where now the decision is taken away from you because the company you work for might go into administration or XYZ. So there's a whole things like that. But also part of what he speaks about, which is the message that I like about the message, is like about through the book, is like trying to be the best in your industry, like trying to be, not being average. Do you see what I mean? So like trying to be number one in your industry, trying to be the best. And the difference between, and this made me think about this made me think about things like boxing, things about sport, things about all kinds of things. Like most of the money, or most of the plaudits or everything goes to the people that are at the top. And then the average, the middle, where majority of people are, is where you kind of, the rewards for being in the middle aren't nowhere as great. So he talks about films, you know, the top 2 or 3 films gross millions, you know, and then the ones that are in the middle, it's night and day between what, you know, he puts quite a few graphs in there and stuff like that, so to make it visual. But that's what really stuck with me. It's like, Ray, you should really be trying to be the best in your field, because that's where you know, that's where the rewards are. And that was, again, and because as well, talking about that dip, when in an industry that you're staying, I know he speaks about the lady that's the Attorney General or the Supreme Court in America, in the justice system. It's like, because it's so scarce, the amount of people that are in that position, scarcity brings value. And then within that section, within that industry, because there's not so many people that can do it, you'll be paid well, or you'll be, you know, you'll have the plaudits and stuff like that. So that was really important, I think.
I mean, I want to say, you know, he does talk about being the best, and, you know, you should aim to try and be the best. But I don't necessarily agree that, you know, you have to be the best. Like, as long as you're happy and you feel that you're doing your best, then that's okay. I think he says...
do you not think you should still try to be, like, you may not everyone can be the best footballer in the world, not everyone can be the best whatever in the world, but your motivation should be to be the best you can be.
Yes. But that's comparing yourself with yourself.
Yeah.
if you're trying to be the best, then you're bringing other people into that comparison now. Do you get what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but I feel there's like, I don't know. I feel like you should. I don't know. Oh, this is my opinion. I feel like you should try and be. You want to be up there, man. You want to, like, the best way I could put it is like, you want to be like, if it's like you want to be in the medals. You want to be a market leader. You want to be up there in the best. And if you're not, it's not like you're gonna. But that should be the ambition. I don't know. That's just me personally. Like, I'm trying to be the best. Like, whether I am or not, I'm trying. And I think this is where I know, like, certain things, like, silly example, but when you're younger, I used to play money up, like money up the wall. Yeah, I'm rubbish at money up. I don't bother. I didn't bother playing because I can't play. I said, I'm gonna lose. What am I playing for? Because I wasn't. Do you see what I mean? So it's like, because I'm not good at it. I'm not. There's no. I can't get to be the best. If you use that silly example, I just don't play. Yeah. But then if it's something that I'm in, so let's say you're like, cool, and then you're like this as well, maybe because you're competitive. If you're doing something, you're gonna try and be the best. Like, I feel like if you're running, like the example you gave me on holiday, in that moment in the kayak, you were trying to be the best.
Yeah,
well, you're not.
We've got to give the
give the context. Yeah, it's your story, innit?
Right, cool.
But wait, do you see what I'm saying though?
Yeah. Okay. But
no, so tell them.
Yeah. So I went on holiday and I was kayaking with my partner, and she was at the front, I was at the back, and there was these other two women kayaking, and they were, fit. They were probably like early 40s, and they were slightly ahead of us. So I'm trying to beat them. I'm like kayaking, trying to beat them. And also my missus is she's going as well, but I don't know that she's competing and she doesn't know that I'm competing, but I'm competing to try and beat the women, and the women don't know that we're trying to beat them, but they're still going. Anyway, in the end, like, we get there, we beat them, and it's like, yes, we beat them.
So you're trying to be the best? I
was trying to be the best, yeah. I wasn't. I was trying to beat them, because there was actually a guy that was way ahead of us.
Okay.
So he was the best. Do you get what I mean?
Okay.
So he was, like, I couldn't compete with him because he was gone. So I was trying to be the best that I can, and those women helped motivate me to be my best.
No, look, man, I definitely get what you're saying, and I agree with you to a point, because you definitely don't want to look outward and what's the, this comparison is the thief of joy, those sort of things. So comparing, this, if I, this person done that or that person done this, but at the same time, maybe they can both be true at the same time for myself, but at the same time, I'm always, and it doesn't mean we're gonna be, but I'm always trying to be number one, like I am. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think that's a bad thing. And I think everyone should operate that way. Doesn't mean you're gonna be, and it doesn't mean if you don't achieve it, and I think that will push you on to be the best, like to be your best. Your best. I don't know. It's kind of hard to put into words, but I don't disagree with that.
And I'm not saying that I don't try and be the best, because as we've established, I'm competitive.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to let someone else come into me being my best self. Do you get what I mean? But let's not.
One more thing. Do you not? Just to put a bit of like the best. I'm not talking about necessarily like one, like the best company in your industry, but I'm talking about like in the top, one of the top companies in your industry, like in that bracket.
Yeah.
Like, so, because there can only be one best footballer in the world, but there can be the top 10 footballers in the world. Do you get what I'm saying? Or the top footballers in the world, whatever it is. So I'm talking about more so trying to be in the top bracket.
Okay.
Just for a bit more context, but
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Well, let's go on to the dip curves that he talks about, because he says, there's 8 dip curves, and you can choose to do whatever you need to do in order to get through the dip, knowing it's going to be difficult, or you can give up before you get there. So, you can choose to get through, knowing that it's going to be hard. Before you even get there, like, you want to know that you're going to push through before you get there. And actually, there's an example that he gives in the back of the book about a racer deciding when he's going to, or if he's going to quit.
And the marathons.
Or if he's going to push through the dip.
Yeah.
And
like, no one quits on the 25th mile of the Boston Marathon.
So it was a quote from ultra marathon runner Dick Collins. It said, decide before the race
Yeah.
the conditions that will cause you to stop and drop out.
Mhm.
You don't want to be out there saying, well, gee, my leg hurts. I'm a little dehydrated. I'm sleepy. I'm tired. It's cold. It's windy. And then talk yourself into quitting.
Yeah.
If you make a decision based on how you feel in the moment, you're probably making the wrong decision. And I love that because, yeah, you don't want to decide based on your emotional, your current emotions. You want to decide based on a calculated and educated adjustment or consideration.
You want to really look at all the options that are in front of you.
Yeah.
And make a logical decision.
So that was getting through the dips. But let's go through some of them.
Yeah.
Manufacturing dip.
Yeah.
So it's easy to build something in your garage.
Yeah.
It's difficult and expensive to buy equipment and ramp up production. So yeah, do not. My missus is half American, even though she's British. Yeah. She always uses words like the American words, like routes, and so garage. We're in the UK here.
That's funny.
Thanks for picking it up.
Sorry, man.
Mr. Fly.
Garage, yeah. So,
but it's easy to build something in the garage.
Yeah.
It's difficult and expensive to buy equipment to ramp up production. So if you are building something, the dip is going to come when you then need to spend money and invest into building up production of that thing.
And that is when you need to make that decision. Maybe I'll just leave it where I am, because that's another thing which he doesn't really talk about this, but scaling up can sometimes be the worst thing you do. Do you know what I mean? So in that situation, someone might, if they're in their garage and they've been manufacturing things, and then it comes to the time, but they haven't protected their business, or they haven't protected things, and they scale up, and they whatever they do, they take out loans, or they do whatever, they're trying to expand, and they don't have the skills to make it land. That's when the thing can go left. Do you see what I mean? So yeah, no, that was cool, man.
Do you think, because I think he kind of alludes to like thinking about this before like getting to the dip, like thinking about, all right, when you get there, are you going to be willing to go through these production costs, etc. But I guess you've kind of just said, you want to start and do something and then decide when you get there. And I'm of the belief of more of your side. Start, see if you like it, see what you think about it, and then when the time comes to boost up or to scale up, then assess it and think, am I willing to do what it takes to scale up? Yeah,
I mean, really, you should know all this at the beginning, I think, because planning, but sometimes it doesn't always work that way. No. Let's be real. It doesn't always work that way. But everyone's different, every business is different, so it's hard to say. But I know with my experience, I think there is a lot of planning, but maybe not as much planning at the beginning stage, to be fair. And I think there's so many variables, man, it's hard to say. But yeah, I think the more planning you could do is always going to be beneficial for you. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
Is always going to be beneficial for you. So you could actually plan for that.
Yeah.
That instance. But to be real, going back to with the bounce castles and the photo booths and other stuff, it's like those decisions were made at the time.
Yeah.
They're made at the time of where we are. But you've got a lot more data. I mean, it's always better to do it though as well. Do you see what I'm saying? It's always better because you can plan as much.
Yeah.
But it's always better to be in the moment and in the market, in the industry, because you're living it, you're in it.
And you're learning as you go. There are a few other dips. There's 8. We probably won't go through all of them, but the ego dip. Yeah. I like this one. When it's all about you, it's easier. Giving up control and leaning into the organization gives you leverage. Most people can't do this. They can't give up control or spotlight. They get stuck in that dip. So sometimes in a business or in life, you have to delegate. Yeah. And you can't be the one controlling everything. You can't be the one doing everything.
It's impossible.
And I think from a personal point of view, this is something that I've had to adjust to over time, because I've always been the one that wanted to do things in my business and do things, and I've had to delegate and I guess I would probably say I'm forever working on that as well, because yeah, I like to.
No, it's not easy.
Yeah,
It's not easy. I mean, speaking from the perspective of, I've given away a lot of control, but it's been necessary for the growth. But it doesn't make it any easier. Trust me. But it's necessary, and so it's a hard. As you know, businesses, there's not like one size fits all. There's not one rule. It's different, and it changes. What was right today might not be the right thing to do tomorrow, and so on and so forth. But I think with that, I didn't really agree with like the thing about ego and wanting to be spotlight. I mean, he called it ego, so he wanted to be the center of attention, or I kind of paraphrase that one, but I don't think that anyone who's any good at business, and I could be wrong, maybe I'm wrong, would remain kind of in charge because of their ego. I mean,
I'm sure there are examples.
Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking from my perspective, but that's foolish in my eyes. But fair, people mostly do it. But wanting to be the spotlight and the center of attention, like, really, you know? I think more, when I think of the ego dip, it's like going back to your friend, for example. He checked his ego when he said, well, look, you know, I left the warehouse job, started my own business, and now I'm gonna go back to work. That's checking your ego.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Because a lot of times, like I said, people, when they leave working, they feel like, oh, if I go back, it's embarrassing. It can be embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? So you got to check your ego. But are you doing what's best? Are you doing what's best in that moment? Getting a job might be what's best for yourself to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know what I did like of those 8, the distribution dip?
Yes.
And he speaks about, obviously it's an American book, so he speaks about Walmart, but I'll give a UK example. So he talks about like having a product or selling a product online versus getting distribution in what would be the UK version of Walmart, maybe Costco? Yeah. Costco, yeah. So let's say selling, he's saying you'd have more opportunity to sell your product to more people in Costco because it's a smaller market. Well, online, you're just one across millions of different products versus in Costco you've got a captive audience and there's, you know, you get a spotlight and there's different reasons. So he kind of speaks about that distribution, which makes it.
He specifically says, talks about scarcity. Yeah. Getting into Walmart is more likely to lead to huge sales than is putting it on the web.
Yeah.
Why? Because of scarcity. Everyone's on the web, but getting into Walmart is hard.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you on this. Do you fully agree with that? Because I guess I'll go from my opinion, because you don't need to be in Costco or Walmart to sell a product. I think being with online now, you know, with the use of social media and TikTok and things going viral and all of that, you can sell stuff online and scale and potentially have a massive business. Actually, sometimes going into these supermarkets and big shops is a loss. I know a business that sold their product in Tesco, and actually they made no profit from being in Tesco. It was just about having the brand recognition in there. All the distribution costs and all of the costs that they did to get into Tesco, it meant they didn't make any profit anyway. Whereas selling online, you know, they wouldn't have had the same amount of costs. So I guess what I'm saying is, yes, it could be good to be in a Costco or a Walmart and stuff, but I don't necessarily agree that what he's saying in how he's saying it. I don't agree the blanket statement. I understand the point.
I think for me, 2 things. I think scarcity is always valuable.
Yeah.
So I think, so just to say on that, I think yeah. If what he says, scarcity is the secret to value, and I agree with that till the cows come home. In regards to selling online,
I want to just cut in there and say scarcity coupled with demand, because it's all good having a product or service or something that's scarce. If no one wants it, then that's irrelevant.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I feel like I agree with you, because it's like we're talking about markets or industries that there is demand.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, the first example that he gives, like this lady Hannah Smith, she's a law clerk. This hit home to me, that she's a law clerk at the Supreme Court. Every year, 42,000 students graduate from law school in America. 37 of them are awarded Supreme Court clerkships. 37 out of 42,000.
Mad.
So scarcity. So there's value. Those 37 people, which Hannah Smith is one of them, is in a very privileged, not even privileged because they worked hard for that position, but that's scarcity, you know. And so I think, look, yes, industries where there's demand, like that's a prerequisite, like that's a standard for me. Do you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't want to be the only person maybe selling bikinis in the middle of winter, like near the canal. Like, yeah, you're the only one there, but no one's trying to buy them at the River Thames on the coldest day of the year. So I get you. So anyway, say that, yeah, scarcity I think is you know, if you can be a niche, because I've got a friend that he does like his job. He does like, oh, I'm gonna get it wrong. He like reupholsters things. That's not actually what he does, but that's the best example I can think of. So he will say like a painting, and he'll fix it. And I'm using the wrong, I forget what it's called, but he does something, begins with an R, and he'll fix it to the point where it looks brand new. So, and he was saying to me, it's a different, he doesn't do repairs. He does, man, it's going to bug me. But anyway, he does this, right? We're just going to call it reupholster, even though it's not. So he reupholsters it and brings it back to his former glory. He goes, a repair is just like, say if there's a carpet and it's got a rip down the middle, you just sew it up and you can see the fix. You can see the fix that's been made. So he gets paid well for that, because not a lot of people can do it. It takes a lot of time, a lot of skill. You know, you need to know what you're doing, all that kind of stuff. So he gets paid really well to do that. And that's a scare. Not everyone can do that. There's a lot more people that can do standard repairs, but there's not as many people that can do what he's doing. So there's the scarcity again. Now, in regards to the web versus being in a physical store, to be fair, I think social media, I think you know this way, I think social media, and also I think it's overrated personally. Like, but maybe that's me just speaking about my personal experience. You know, but I would, if someone's, and this is me with no sort of prior experience of it, but if I had the opportunity if I had a product and I had the opportunity to be in, you know, in a store, in a Tesco's or in a Sainsbury's or Arg or whatever, I would jump at that. And you know, but you're right, in reality, I don't know. I mean, that example you gave, but I'm sure there's other examples where it's more than just the fact that you're in Tesco's or in Boots, you know, or wherever that so it's balanced out. But my opinion is that I see a lot of value in that personally. I think because you're like a drop in the ocean. You know, when you're putting something online, whatever platform it might be, how many other people have, it's just you're just swimming in the ocean, man. But that's just my personal opinion.
Okay. Let's go on to I wanted to touch on another dip, which was the risk dip. And again, this is one that I've learned from over the years. Bootstrappers learn the hard way that at some point they can't pay for it all themselves. And I can't.
I thought of you when I read this, you know. I thought of you when I read that.
Yeah, because I've bootstrapped my business. I haven't had any investment. I've done everything myself. I've learned loads of skills along the way. Even like with like editing, I've done some videos on my business. And then eventually, like I started to pay someone to do it. And it makes sense. It makes sense to invest and then put my energy and time elsewhere into other parts of the business that can help me generate income. So it's like at some point you have to invest and take time. And even part of my business, I've got a team of chair massage therapists now. But when I started that, I used to go and do it. But me going and doing it, I'm earning more money if I do it, right? Because I don't have to pay someone to do it. But if I get someone else to go and do it, like I'm paying them, but I can also earn from that as well. And I don't have to go and
you can go do something else.
And I can go and try and get more work for the team and, you know, help them further and help me further at the same time. So I like the idea of the risk. At some point you have to take a risk to grow. And it says it takes risk to rent a bigger space or invest in new techniques. Successful entrepreneurs understand the difference between investing to get through the dip or investing in something that's a risky crapshoot. So invest wisely is basically what it's saying. Don't just invest because of the sake of it.
Yeah. Every opportunity is not an opportunity.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So invest wisely. And now through my business, I got to a point where it's like, okay, it makes sense to invest in getting an editor or getting, other therapists to help support me. So
No, I agree with that. Man, I mean, I'm here, I'm all for investing. If I believe in it, like, this is the way I look at it is I think, well, what does big business do? That's what I think. I think, what does big business do? Big business, they get money. They get loans, they get investors, they get that. That's what big business does.
Yeah.
So they don't go in there and they've got more money than us. Do you know what I mean? But they don't even use their own money. Like, generally, I'm sure they do. But you get my point. They go and they get money.
Well, look at Uber, man.
Well, look at Uber, look at Twitter, look at all the or X, whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Look at big business. They go and they get money, and they use other people's money to propel their dream and propel their business and grow their business. That's what they do. And then they do that maybe 10 or 15 times, or how many times across how many businesses. So obviously we don't. So my philosophy has always been like, if I believe in this, like, it's not that I'm just, someone says, oh yeah, let's start selling lollipops. Yeah, I'm going to go get a loan out or I'm going to start trying to invest or whatever. Like, but if I believe in it, because this is good, why would, like, I'm not wasting my time. If I think this is going to work and money's never going to be the issue, that I don't do something. Yeah. Like, that's just me. If it's that I don't have enough money myself, okay, I'm gonna go and get the money. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how I think. Yeah. So, I don't like, and there's pros and cons and all this kind of stuff. But generally, money's. I'm like, any business I've done is I've applied that knowledge to it. If I believe in this and I've done the numbers and I've done whatever and I've done my research and I've planned, I'm like, yeah, why would I? Because it's like, wow, this is stopping me from getting the bag. Like, this is stopping me from getting where I want to get to. This amount here. Once I get this amount, I can pay that amount back. Plus, I can do what.
And I think one of the things to add here is, like, investing in yourself is the best investment. Like, think about you as a viewer. Some of the things that you've spent money on that you think, that was a waste of money, or you didn't get value from it. Maybe you bought the new clothes or trainers or something. It's like that money could have gone into yourself or into something else. It's like, actually investing in yourself is smart. All right.
It's underrated. 100%. People always look to, like, other people for, no, invest in yourself, become the person. So I know
So I wanted to go on, what is the power of pages? What is your power of these pages?
Okay. There's value in scarcity. I'm gonna keep it there. And again, a quick analogy of what he says is like bottles of water. No one, there's value in scarcity. He gives an example of water and champagne, and like, people know the top champagne brands and they pay a lot for the top champagne brands. There's loads of bottle of water. You don't really, if you want a water, the average person's just gonna pick up a bottle. You might check now, people check the pH value and all that kind of stuff, but generally they're all the same. There's not much difference between the two. There are some small differences, but generally they're all the same. With champagne, because they've created the value and the scarcity and whatnot at the top of the market, people pick out different brands and stuff like that. So there's value and scarcity. Yeah,
okay. I think for me, my power of these is invest in yourself. And do you know what's funny is that he mentions it briefly. It's not like an overarching theme of the book. Yeah. But maybe I'll go to another one and just say it's okay to quit.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe that's the real power for me, is it's okay to quit if it's not right for you. And I think I want to preface that by saying, don't quit just because it's hard. Like, don't quit because it's difficult. Quit because this isn't your long-term vision. You can't see it coming to fruition or getting better in the future.
Bars. No, that's facts. Yeah. If it's hard, you should actually keep going. I swear, that's how I feel, because it's like, that's everyone else is gonna quit, bruv. That's honestly like, no, sorry, because that's everyone else. This is how I think, innit? This is mad hard. That means 90% of people are stopping at this point.
Yeah.
Why would now I'm like, if it's hard, do it more. I swear. Yeah. And shout out to Ryan there, because Ryan agrees with me on this. Yeah, big up Ryan Photobooth London, quirky hire. Sorry,
Yeah.
you just got me
Sorry,
gassed there. You just gassed me up. You just gassed me
Bro,
up.
give me
No,
some
'cause
more.
it's true,
I feel
bro.
like you got more, man.
It's true, I do, but time's cutting out. But listen,
Give us
where's
1
the
minute more,
camera?
man. Preach.
I don't know if I've got a minute for you, but if it's hard, that means you need to keep doing it. Yeah, we know sporting competitions that I've done before in the past, life, I know that, right? If I'm training for something and I don't want to train, I'm definitely training. Because if I'm competing against somebody else or another team or whatever, this is me maybe trying to be the best or whatnot is, yeah? They're not training when they feel like this. They're not doing it when they feel like this. If I'm up all night or working hard or doing whatever for my business, for the charity, for my life, for my family, I'm going again. I'm carrying on going because other people are going to stop. And again, it doesn't matter about other people. Yes, it doesn't. But I'm trying to get into the top bracket. So why would I stop? Oh,
Do what others aren't willing to do.
Bro.
Yeah, man.
I'm sweating, bruv. Listen, this is the power of the paint. Alright,
cool. On that note,
wait, I'll edit out my power. Yeah, that's just one for this week. Yeah, that's just one this week. Just one part of the pages, first time ever.
My pick,
your
difficult
pick.
rating. I'll go first. It was a very easy read, very short book.
Yep.
1 out of 5, not difficult at all for you.
0.5.
0.5.
Yeah, 0.5.
What? Wait, you're going to points?
I know.
This guy has never done points, and he's now going
I used to do
0.5.
it, but I stopped. But I have to for this. It wasn't even a 1. It wasn't even a 1.
Okay.
It wasn't even a 1. It's
all right.
80 pages, man.
All right, star rating. Do you know what? This book at the right time for somebody would be life-changing.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I feel like if the right person reading this at the right time would be like, this is the best book ever.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't need this book in my life. It's got some good reminders. I needed this book 5 years ago, maybe. Like, that would have helped me 5 years ago. Where I am in life now, I'm comfortable at quitting. I'm comfortable at pushing through the dips. Do you get what I mean? Like, for me, but I say all that to say, I'm going to give it a 3. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. It was a worthwhile read, nice, short, easy read. And for the right person, this will change their life.
Interesting. I think you finished. I think I would definitely recommend this book. You're right, to someone at the beginning of their journey. Again, and as well, I think you'll get ready. It's only short. I'll give this a 3.00. 3, yeah, 3. No, that's a 3.
Oh, we're equal, yeah?
Yeah, no, 3. It's definitely a 3, man. Like, could it be a 4? No. It's a good book, and I'd recommend it. And I think I enjoyed reading it, and I would pass this on. I would give this book to people, and I would tell them about it. And it's stuff that we kind of already say and understand already. So it's good to see it written down and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a 3 for me.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now, I haven't mentioned this yet, but what review of ours following this book do you think the viewers would enjoy watching next?
That's a good question. Wow.
And while you think of that, I'm just going to introduce the book that we're going to review for our next episode. Good Vibes, Good Life is the next book we're going to review. But what episode should they watch next?
The Lean Startup.
The Lean Startup. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, this is The Power of Pages.
And we review books.